What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Average Guy's Gourmet. I'm your host, Tony Rican, and today we got a great dessert recipe for you. Cinnamon Bun Apple Pie. That's right, I took two great things and I'm putting them together. So let's just go ahead and get started and jump right into this one. We're going to start with our cinnamon roll crust. What I did is I lightly floured my working area here, and I've got a 1/4 cup of sugar and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. We're going to take this and put it all over our crust. We're going to push this in lightly with our fingers here, spread it around. You want to coat the whole thing. Don't leave any gaps in here. Once you've done this, you want to tightly roll your crust back into a log. Once you have it rolled, go ahead and discard the edges, and then you want to cut this into 1/2-inch sections. Once you've sliced up that top piece of crust, go ahead and pull yourself a piece of wax paper and lightly flour it. Then take your pinwheels and you're going to lay them out onto the wax paper. What you want to do is you want to create a circle roughly 10 inches. This will end up being your top pie crust. Once you have all your pinwheels laid out in a circle, take another piece of wax paper on top of them, and then you want to take your roller and gently roll these out. Now that this is all rolled out and it's nice and flattened, this will be our top crust. So we're going to take this and we're going to want to put this in the refrigerator until we're ready to use it. Now we're ready to tackle our filling. I'm using 5 apples, roughly 2 pounds. I'm using 3 Granny Smiths and 2 Pink Ladies. I'm going to go ahead and take my lemon juice and my vanilla extract. I'm going to take about 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon and another 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm going to toss this all together. Now once you're done with that, we're going to go ahead and take our pie, which I've already lined the bottom crust, and fill it with our tossed apples. After I filled up my pie crust, I started preheating my oven to 400 degrees. I've got a baking sheet in there so it'll warm up and be ready for this pie. Now I'm going to take my top crust and transfer it over. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over and put it on top. Don't worry, you might get a little bit of separation. That's okay, just pinch everything back together. Now we're ready to go ahead and put this in the oven. I'm going to put this on the preheated baking sheet, and we're going to let this go for about 50 minutes until this gets a nice golden brown. If it starts to cook too quickly on top, go ahead and put a piece of tin foil over to tent it on top. We let our pie bake for about 50 minutes. While it was in the oven, I made a nice glaze for it. I took a little bit of confectioner's sugar and a little bit of milk, whipped it together, and I drizzled it all over the pie. This thing came out great. Now when I cut it, I mangled it a little bit. I'm not the great at cutting these, but let's go ahead and taste this. I love this pie, so will you, so will anybody you give it to. So go ahead and make it, enjoy, and we'll see you guys next time.